Hey everybody, what is going on? Serial Jack, and today I'm playing Gears of War 5. What we're going to be doing today is talking about how Gears of War 5 runs on the sort of minimum required system, or how Gears of War 5 runs on lowest settings. So if you've got a laptop or low-end system, this is probably the video for you. Okay, so first off, here's the proof. You can see everything here is turned as low as it will go. Stuff like texture filtering's at 2x, foliage is off. Like a lot of stuff that doesn't need to be on is off, and a lot of stuff that, well, needs to be on is at the lowest setting possible. One of the cool things that they do with Gears of War is if you look at this bottom right-hand corner, you can see GPU, CPU, and VRAM. This is telling you what each of those settings use. So you can go to something like minimum frame rate and see it's not really affecting that much. I'd recommend setting that to 60. It's good to do. But you can see here, like you go down here, you can see the minimum system settings. It says GPU none, CPU minor, like different things say different things. And that's sort of really going to help you optimize your settings, because you can go in, you can figure out what sort of system you've got and set everything up like that. Now, as you guys can see, I'm running this on a higher end system. That's just so everything looks good, but I'm going to give you guys the minimum system requirements. And if you've got any questions, feel free to comment down below with your system specifications and asking like if you can run it. I'm not going to be able to tell you guys exactly how many FPS it can run, but I'll do my best. If you look, I comment on all the videos that I do this for, and I try my best to help everybody out. In you know, sort of quid pro quo, if you guys can help me out, that would be great. I'm trying to sort of grow this YouTube channel. Anyways, let's jump right into it. Now, for Gears 5, the minimum system requirements are you need Windows 7. I'd recommend Windows 10, because Windows 7, it's going to require you to have like a crazy GPU. If you've got Windows 7, you probably need Windows 10 to run this, let's be honest. The processor, it says it requires a AMD FX 6000 series or an Intel i3. That's pretty low. Memory, it's saying 8 gigs of RAM. For graphics, it's going to require an R9 or GeForce GTX 760. That's pretty low end. If you've got Windows 7, you're going to be required to run with the GTX 1050 is what it's saying. So basically, Windows 10 is what you need to be running on. That's not a surprise, because this game is made by none other than Microsoft. So other than that, everything else you can sort of skip through, DirectX, blah, blah, blah. Just make sure all your drivers are up to date. If you're wondering what the recommended system settings are, it's saying you want 8 gigs of RAM, CPU's the same, so a AMD Ryzen 3 or an Intel, well, i5. So it's a little bit better than, I guess, the other one. So the processor's still pretty low, though. Graphics card, that's where everything sort of gets a little beefier. It requires an RX 570 or GeForce GTX 970. So you've really got to sort of up the graphics card. That's because it's a video game. It's more graphics card intensive. That's just how video games work. Now, as far as the system settings go, running it on low and running it on high, there are a few differences that I can just point out right here. The lighting does get a little bit like weird when you're shifting around your camera a lot, when there's lightning going on. I've noticed a few things that just seem off, okay? That's pretty much all, right? Otherwise, when you're running on like low, you can still see the animations. Everything looks cool. You can still see locusts exploding and bullets flying and everything like that. It really does feel like a Gears of War game. And probably one of the reasons for this is because they're trying to make it run on some of these lower end consoles. Let's face it, the Xbox One is not what it used to be. So, you know, if it's got to run on the Xbox One, it's probably going to run on sort of your mid-tier, low-tier gaming laptops. So this is great news for a lot of you guys who are running with lower specs. If your laptop's made in 2017, 2018, 2019, and it's supposed to be a gaming laptop, or it has a somewhat decent graphic card, you're going to be fine. You're going to be running this game smoothly. You're going to be liking it. If you're one of those people who wants high graphics, then you probably have a better card. Now, one other thing to get into here is the keyboard, okay? I want to talk about this specifically because it feels weird, honestly. If you want to play this game, I definitely recommend you get a controller. This isn't something that has to do with your computer or system settings or anything like that, but it's just a recommendation that I have for you. If you're looking to play this game on as low budget as possible and you don't have a controller, it honestly might not be the game for you. I tried playing on a mouse and keyboard, and it didn't feel right. I had to plug my controller in and just play like that. Maybe it's because I'm old school. I've been playing Gears of War since Gears of War came out. And I've always been playing it on my Xbox, right? Xbox 360, Xbox One. I've been playing it on that. This is the first time I've ever touched Gears of War on the computer. So maybe I'm just old school. Like, I'm not with it as far as Gears of War on the PC go. But if I was you, I'd get the controller. It's going to feel a lot smoother. It's going to run a lot better. This game was designed around the controller, so I'd definitely recommend doing that. Anyways, like I said, guys, if you have any questions about how this game is going to run, if you've got anything you want to know, just let me know down below in the comments. I'll do my best to help you out. I really try my best to help everybody out. And like I said, if you're going to comment your system specs, please, please, please make sure that you comment your GPU. That's extremely important, and probably like how much RAM you have. Your CPU is important, but not as important. Your GPU is going to sort of be the deciding factor, to be honest, because most of you guys should be running with at least 8 gigs of RAM, which they're saying that's the minimum for the game. If you really want to optimize things, I'm pretty sure you could even get it down to like 6 or 4 gigs of RAM. But I hesitate to say that because you've really got to start tinkering with stuff if you want to do 4, just because of how much space, you know, Windows 10 and a modern operating system require. Anyways, that's all I've got to say, so until next time, peace.